Alright, so what is going on, guys? Today I'm gonna be doing a video about budget graphics card. One of the best budget graphics cards that you guys should buy. Alright, so it's ranging from the RX 570 up to the RTX 2060 Super. Here, so first, let's talk about the RX 570. RX 570 4GB version is currently, like, you could find it easily around 100 US dollars. Like, that's an amazing deal. Like, if you're trying to put together a really super budget system, or actually a super budget system to run Hackintosh, specifically to edit with what is it, Final Cut Pro, RX 570, I would say. Yeah, if you're looking for like a Hackintosh GPU, RX 570 is really good. I mean, it's not only good for Hackintosh, it's actually good for gaming, actual gaming performance, and video editing performance inside DaVinci Resolve. Not Adobe Premiere Pro, but in DaVinci Resolve. I think it's a good enough card for that. So yeah, for 100 US bucks, getting like a CSGO, and CSGO could easily, like, if you compare it with like an i3 9100F or Ryzen 3 3100, easily, like, around, if you play competitive settings, easily 200 frames on 1080p resolution, like, easily, with RX 570, like, it's just still such a beast. Like, yeah, to compare to Nvidia, I would say it's like a GTX 1060, like, yeah, 1060. Okay, so step up from the RX 570, it's gonna be a GTX 1650 Super. So 1650 Super, like, costs 160 US dollars, and you're getting like really good gaming performance, like, out of it. So for this budget, if you want to get content creation cards, you really should spend more. So that I'll talk about it later. Alright. So for gaming specifically, for this budget, you really couldn't ask more from 1650 Super. Like, it's just amazing. It's an amazing value. Yeah, you could play games. Esports games at 120 frames should work. Like, you play 120 or 144 frames. CSGO, you could play over 200 frames easily, like, easily on 1650 Super. Rainbow Six Siege, like 150 frames, even, or even 200 if you have a like an i5 10600K, which is gonna help. But definitely no one's gonna pay a 1650 Super to a i5 10600K anyways. But what I'm gonna say is that it's a good card. You want to play Fortnite, you want to play GTA, you want to play around you want to play Fortnite, you want to play GTA, you want to play CSGO, you want to play Rainbow Six Siege, any games that, like, you can tweak out the graphics, then 1650 Super is a great value. Okay, and a step up from it is a 1660 Super. Alright, so this card will delivers for 220 US dollars or 230. It delivers a performance that is like to compare it to a regular 1660 on Nvidia, it says that it's up to 20% faster than the 1660. So what's the difference between this one and the 1660? It's actually, okay, let's look on the spec sheet, and as you guys can see, it has GDDR6, so that's the only difference between this one and the 1660. So, but this little thing does actually make some sort of difference. Like, man, it actually does make in some titles you could actually get 20 more frames out from the 1660 Super. It costs pretty much like 20 bucks more, so why not just get it? $1 equals 1 frames. Okay, so now let's move on to the RX 5600 XT. Let's move on to the RX 5600 XT, alright? So this card is what could I say about it? It costs 280, so it's the same price as the 1660 Ti, but the gaming performance offers a lot of bang for your buck in terms of gaming performance here. Like, you're getting a performance that's actually slightly better than an RTX 2060. But for the price of a 1660 Ti. But definitely, for content creation, this card isn't that good. This card definitely is a gaming first, content creation card second. So if you want a card that could do like content creation or streaming, then maybe not this card. Even a 1660 Super, like this one, has an NVENC encoder, which supports better for streaming than this one. So yeah. So here's the next card to talk about if you actually want to do content creation or streaming. So it's the RTX 2060. So this one costs 300 bucks. It costs more than the RX 5600 XT, but alright, the performance in gaming, you might losing out 5 to 10 frames, or maybe in some times it actually equals to each other, but what you're getting is a content creation performance, a card for content creation, and you get ray tracing. You get the tensor cores, which should work well with like AI and stuff. But I'm not sure if the RTX 2060 is actually even good enough for AI, but I mean, it's definitely gonna do it much better than RX 5600 XT. Get a content creation performance, get a what is it, not only content creation but streaming with NVENC encoder. It's just much better, much smoother. So yeah, it's a card you might look for here. And to pair up with that, I would say an R5 3600 or i5 10400 would be a great pair for this, or even Ryzen 3 3300X. Okay, so now let's step up to bump all the way up from $300 to nearly $400. So this is a RX 5700 XT. This card, I say, for gaming, again, it's actually is amazing value for gaming. Like, for gaming, definitely not getting ray tracing. These bad boys are good value for gaming, but there's no ray tracing. But the thing is, if you're gonna say that the RTX 2060, it has ray tracing, but it's just horrible at doing it. So there is really no point for gaming anyways. The tensor cores, I would say it's for content creation. It's not for gaming. Alright. So the RX 5700 XT, it's a card that costs the same as the 2060 Super, but it has a performance that is nearly as good as a RTX 2070 Super. It's only like 5% away from that, which is incredible value. And in the future, I believe that AMD is gonna pull more drivers updates so that they could actually even bring the gaps closer to the 2070 Super, which is gonna be quite exciting here. So this card, I could say that you could play it for 1080p. It's too overkill for it. Yeah, after getting this card, I would recommend you guys buy a 2K monitor to play games at 144 frames. Yeah, at 1080p you could play games, esports game at 240 frames. Really excellent performance. Maybe not fully 240 frames, but it's getting there. Right? It's getting there. In CS:GO, it's too easy, man. It's too easy to run. even the cheapest RX 570 could do that. So yeah. Ooh, so now the final card is the RTX 2060 Super. So it costs the same as the RX 5700 XT. The performance in gaming, I think it's not as good. The 5700 XT, as you guys can see, it's actually just better in overall. So the 2060 Super, maybe for gaming it's not the best, but if you want an all-rounder card that you could do content creation, video editing, and graphics designing, RTX 2060 Super is a card for you. And if you want to streaming, of course, 2060 Super would do that too. And what I would say is that this card just offers so much value of like a all-rounder card for the price. It has 8 gigs VRAM, so yeah, not 6 gigabyte like with the RTX 2060, so you don't have to worry too much. For ray tracing, it definitely got ray tracing, but performance with ray tracing is not that good, so this card is shit. I got to say it's shit for ray tracing, so don't get this card if you want ray tracing, alright? This card's not for ray tracing. The minimum if you want like a good ray tracing experience is 2070 Super. So definitely these bad boys don't buy them for ray tracing. Buy them for NVENC encoder and content creation performance, and it's like Sable Gaming. Not as good as AMD, but still. So yeah, in general, I think all these cards have their own like value to them. They have their own value to them. So yeah, from cheapest to most expensive 2060 Super. And out of the 2060 Super, I wouldn't say pretty much all of those cards are not a really good value at the moment. 2070 Super and 2080 Super and stuff. Yeah, so you could just pick whatever card you want after these. So yeah guys.